We're headed into the North Ghost to do a climb called This House of Sky, and it's a bit of an adventure getting in. Since the washouts and floods last year, the trail into the North Ghost is drastically changed, and it's a lot. It's interesting. It's fun. It's almost takes it back to the days of, you know, it's not as simple. Getting to the climb is half the adventure. And so right now we're just crawling our way in, and hopefully we're not going to get stuck. Yep, we're driving on frozen river. It's luckily good and frozen. You know, it's always in this area nice to know there's other people in the area in case you do have an issue. What I like about the outdoors is I like to get out, enjoy the mountains, the company, you know, to be out, socialize with some friends. The technicality of climbing is what you know, I enjoy, the challenges that it presents, and the accomplishments once you know, succeeded. Overhead hazard is a big concern when you're ice climbing, and so you want to make sure you're looking up and seeing what's above your head. Obviously, it wouldn't take too much snow to avalanche into a terrain trap like this to bury a person. When I head out ice climbing and I'm looking at an avalanche bulletin and trying to decide the avalanche conditions and how they might affect the climb that I'm deciding to go on, looking for natural avalanches that are going to release naturally and potentially affect a climber. Depending on the climb you're on, generally it's an overhead hazard that we're concerned about. Typically when we're climbing, we're gaining altitude, and so there's obviously going to be a change in weather, and we need to consider that. Are we climbing into an inversion where potentially the snowpack, if there's an overhead hazard, is warming up and you know, getting to the point where there could be a release? The sun is going to warm the rocks, and the warming of that rocks can cause avalanches. So generally we like to get out early and end early. Things warm up, you know, ice starts to fall just like snow, so if it warms up enough, everything starts moving at some point. It doesn't take a massive avalanche to potentially be fatal. You know, if you have a number of small slough avalanches that build up and accumulate in that gully, then that could be enough to take an ice climber out. For a new person getting into ice climbing, I would definitely recommend take a course. You know, go out with a guide. You want to learn how to ice climb, how to place screws, you know, how ice climbing works, and generally when you're out ice climbing, it's a different train of thought when you're thinking about avalanches. Take an AST course, you know, learn about the snow, learn about how to read bulletins, learn about how to use your rescue gear, and that's going to make a big difference in, you know, looking at the bulletins, deciding what aspects are good to climb on and not good to climb on, what days are good to climb and not to climb. You know, planning is a big part of being prepared. Knowing the weather, having some training, knowing where you're going, having options, those are all going to be things that if you think about and consider are going to make for a safer day.